And we're at El Monte Police Department, and a press conference is set to get underway. Take a look behind me. Hopefully you can see these are the suspects, most of them taken into custody this morning. All of them documented gang members, according to law enforcement, known on the streets of El Monte as Sicko, Snarky, Wacky, Mad Dog, and Psycho, to name a few. And all of them were taken into custody this morning.
This is the FBI. Come to the front door, open it, come out with your hands up, nothing in your hand.
In this footage exclusive to Fox 11 News, you were looking at the beginning of Operation Silent Cadence, targeting a violent street gang terrorizing local neighborhoods. It kicked off at 6 o'clock this morning in a coordinated effort, and working simultaneously, agents with the FBI, ATF, LA County Sheriffs, El Monte Police, and more police agencies served warrants at over a dozen locations. This one in Pomona. The suspects, again, most of which are documented gang members, according to law enforcement, now facing federal racketeering charges under the RICO Act. And this all started after a member of that same gang murdered El Monte police officers, Corporal Michael Paredes and Officer Joseph Santana, in June of last year here in El Monte. The officers had been responding to a 911 call reporting a stabbing in what appeared to be a case of domestic violence when they say the suspect opened fire, killing the two officers firing back, killing the suspect. Now let's bring it back here live again. We're in El Monte this morning, where in just a few minutes a press conference is going to begin to announce the arrest of a documented street gang that, according to sources, has been terrorizing neighborhoods here in the San Gabriel Valley. We're going to be hearing from El Monte Police Chief, Los Angeles County Sheriff Robert Luna, and more. This a coordinated effort. And again, some of those gang members known on the streets of El Monte as Psycho, Sicko, Pelon, and more. Reporting live in El Monte, I'm Gigi Graciette. Back to you.
Federal indictments target San Gabriel Valley gang linked to murder, witness intimidation, illegal gambling and drug trafficking. A coalition of federal and local authorities this morning announced federal charges against 10 members and associates of a San Gabriel Valley gang who are named in a series of federal grand jury indictments that allege a wide range of criminal conduct. The crimes alleged include the fatal shooting of a woman who was gunned down when a gang member attempted to kill a person who was providing information to law enforcement. Wednesday's takedown targeted the Quiet Village, QV, street gang and is the result of an investigation that started soon after June 14, 2022, when a member of that gang murdered two El Monte police officers, Sergeant Michael Paredes and Officer Joseph Santana. The investigation was conducted by the FBI's San Gabriel Valley Safe Streets Task Force and involved agents and officers assigned to the task. A highly violent gang responsible for the murders of two brave police officers and others has now felt the weight of a collective law enforcement response. The gang's days of terrorizing the community stop with today's federal arrests, said U.S. Attorney Martin Estrada. The indictments we announced today should assure the community that we are here to protect you, and we will use our full resources to fight violent crime and thereby ensure that everyone in Southern California, no matter where they live, has a safe place to live and raise their families. The San Gabriel Valley Safe Streets Task Force works with multiple law enforcement departments throughout the valley to address violent crime, including the alleged crimes by the gang members and associates being charged in Operation Silent Cadence, said Donald Alway, the assistant director in charge of the FBI's Los Angeles field office. We expect this operation to deal a death blow to these criminal enterprises and their ability to maintain power in the neighborhoods they controlled, and to deliver a measure of justice to the families of the victims mercilessly targeted in the various crimes alleged. Today, the El Monte Police Department, the FBI and all of our partner agencies told every American we will never stop in the pursuit of justice when the most heinous of crimes are committed that harm our communities, said El Monte Police Chief Jake Fisher. A total of 10 defendants are charged across 4 grand jury indictments and a criminal complaint. On Wednesday, 2 defendants were arrested, 4 were already in custody, and authorities are continuing to search for 4 fugitives. Additional defendants were taken into custody today on local charges. The main indictment alleges violations of two federal racketeering statutes: a conspiracy to violate the Racketeer Influenced and Corrupt Organizations (RICO) Act, and violent crimes in aid of racketeering, as well as firearms and narcotics offense. The remaining three indictments allege narcotics trafficking and firearms charges. The RICO count, which charges three defendants, outlines the history of QV, its close alliance with another street gang, Whittier Barrio Locos (WVL), and its association with the Mexican Mafia prison gang. The indictment alleges three main areas of criminal conduct: an attempted murder of a rival gang member, the targeting of an informant that resulted in the death of a bystander, and the gang's operation of a casita that offered illegal gambling and narcotics. According to the 46-page RICO indictment, the lead defendant in the case, Chase Carrillo, a.k.a. Sicko, 34, a shot caller in QV, became involved in a verbal altercation with a rival gang member in El Monte on January 13, 2022. That altercation ended with Carrillo and WVL shot caller Ronnie Rojas shooting the rival gangster, who was struck 8 to 10 times and severely wounded. A man identified in the indictment as JP was ordered to drive the getaway vehicle. Authorities investigated the incident and local prosecutors filed charges against Carrillo and Ronnie Rojas. In early March 2022, Rojas obtained a police report about the incident that named JP as a person who provided authorities information about the shooting. Rojas asked WVL member Maria Garcia, who was present at the shooting, to distribute the report. Rojas later said it should go to all the homies, which the indictment alleges was a message to fellow gang members that JP should be murdered for cooperating with law enforcement. On March 5, 2022, only 2 days after the police report began circulating among gang members, Carrillo and Garcia, who were driving a car rented with a credit card Garcia had stolen, encountered JP in the City of Commerce. Carrillo got out of the rental car and fired at least 2 rounds into the vehicle JP was riding in with the intent to kill him. JP was not hit, but the driver of the vehicle, a woman identified in court documents as MF, was fatally wounded. Soon after this killing, Garcia attempted to sell the 9mm ghost gun Carrillo used to kill MF 1 week after the slaying. Garcia told another gang associate, "Yeah, she was driving his car," and later said, "Sometimes you gotta take matters into your own hands, you know." QV members and associates also operated Casita, an illegal gambling business, behind a smoke shop in Whittier. After the murder of the El Monte police officers, gang members placed posters, stickers, and graffiti at QV's illegal gambling business and elsewhere to celebrate the actions of the murderer and in order to advance their gang's reputation for violence and intimidate others. In addition to illegal gambling, the casita was used to distribute methamphetamine. The indictment specifically alleges that QV member Richard Guzman, 40, engaged in 5 transactions involving methamphetamine in July and August of 2022. The complaint alleges that Vincent Gutierrez also sold methamphetamine at the casita. Additionally, the indictment alleges that a Kansas-based gang member, 43-year-old Rafael Solorzano, drove 7 pounds of methamphetamine from Kansas to Southern California with the intent to sell the narcotics. One of the 3 narcotics trafficking indictments alleges that Ronnie Rojas, while he was incarcerated in the Los Angeles County Jail in relation to the attempted murder offense, conspired with a relative to distribute Suboxone. Suboxone, an opioid marketed as a treatment for opioid addiction, but which is sometimes abused. An indictment is merely an allegation. All defendants are presumed innocent until proven guilty beyond a reasonable doubt in a court of law. The defendants taken into custody today are expected to be arraigned this afternoon in U.S. District Court in downtown Los Angeles. Each defendant faces a substantial prison sentence if they were to be convicted. For example, Carrillo, who is charged in the RICO count, a violent crime in aid of racketeering and using a firearm in a violent crime resulting in the death of MF, would face a sentence of life without parole or a potential death sentence if he were convicted.